Ladies and gentlemen, welcome. Today, I want to talk to you about something that can change your life forever. It's a concept that has the power to shape not only your success, but also your relationships and happiness. We're talking about the 11 traits of a high-value man. But first, let me tell you, this isn't about perfection. This is about pursuing excellence every single day. It's about living with intention and purpose. Self-confidence. The first trait we need to discuss is self-confidence. The truth is, self-doubt is the enemy of progress. A high-value man is a man who believes in himself, who knows his worth and doesn't second-guess himself. When you know who you are and what you stand for, the world will take notice. But remember this, confidence isn't something you're born with, it's something you build. Every decision you make, every challenge you face, it's an opportunity to show yourself that you are capable, that you are worthy, and that you can handle whatever comes your way. A high-value man is someone who believes in himself, who carries an inner confidence that isn't built on arrogance, but on self-awareness and self-assurance. Confidence is not something that is born overnight, but rather it is a trait that develops over time through deliberate actions and a mindset of growth. A high-value man knows his worth. And because of that, he doesn't second-guess his decisions. He trusts his intuition, learns from his experiences, and stands firm in his choices. He understands that self-confidence isn't about being perfect, but about embracing who he is, flaws and all. The power of self-confidence allows him to navigate through challenges without getting overwhelmed or swayed by outside opinions. It's the quiet strength that commands respect and attracts admiration, not only from others, but from himself as well. Self-consciousness doesn't come from an external source. It comes from the inner belief that you are capable, worthy, and deserving of the success and happiness you seek. It's about pushing yourself past fear and taking action, even when you're uncertain. A high-value man doesn't shy away from discomfort because he knows that discomfort leads to growth. Whether it's starting a new venture, speaking up in a room full of strangers, or facing rejection, a confident man moves forward, knowing that every experience, good or bad, is part of the journey. The true measure of confidence isn't in how loudly you declare your abilities, but in how calmly you handle the situations that test your strength. When you believe in yourself, others will believe in you too. And that's the foundation on which great relationships, success, and a life of fulfillment are built. Confidence is the cornerstone, and it's available to anyone who dares to embrace it. Leadership next. We have leadership. Leadership isn't about titles or positions. It's about taking responsibility when others won't. It's about stepping up in difficult situations and making decisions that benefit not just you, but everyone around you. A high-value man leads by example. He leads in his home, in his workplace, in his community. He doesn't wait for someone else to take charge. He does it himself. And when times get tough, that's when you'll see his true character. A high-value man understands the importance of leadership, not just in formal roles, but in all aspects of life. Leadership is not about titles or authority. It's about taking responsibility and showing others the way, especially in moments of uncertainty. The true leader doesn't wait for someone else to step up in a crisis or difficult situation. He is the one who steps forward, taking charge and guiding others toward a solution. Leadership is built on the ability to make decisions under pressure, to remain calm when chaos surrounds you, and to inspire confidence in those who follow you. It's about being the rock others can rely on, the person who finds solutions when others are lost in doubt. A high-value man doesn't follow the crowd, he leads it. He is not afraid to go against the grain when necessary, especially when he believes in a cause or vision that others may not yet see. His actions speak louder than words. He leads by example, showing through his conduct the standards he sets for himself and those around him. This kind of leadership builds trust, fosters loyalty, and encourages others to rise to their best selves. It's the kind of leadership that people respect not because of power or position, but because it is grounded in integrity, accountability, and wisdom. In both personal and professional settings, the high-value man is the one who handles challenges with grace, makes decisions with conviction, and maintains his composure no matter what obstacles arise. Leadership is not just about directing others, it's about inspiring and empowering them. A true leader lifts others up and creates an environment where everyone can thrive, knowing that his success is linked to the success of those around him. This is the essence of what makes a high-value man a natural leader. Self-care now. Let me tell you something crucial. You cannot be a high-value man if you don't take care of yourself. Self-care is key. We live in a world that demands so much from us, but you can't give what you don't have. If you want to be of value to others, you must first be of value to yourself. That means maintaining your health, your fitness, your mind, a strong body, a clear mind. These are the tools you need to succeed. Remember, your health is your wealth. A high-value man understands that his well-being is foundational to everything else he does. Taking care of oneself isn't a luxury, it's a necessity. A man who values himself makes his health and personal growth a priority, knowing that without a strong body and mind, it's nearly impossible to be effective in other areas of life. This includes regular exercise, proper nutrition, and mental well-being practices. A high-value man doesn't neglect his health. He makes conscious decisions every day to nourish his body and mind so that he can perform at his best. This dedication to self-care isn't just about appearance. It's about longevity, energy, and the ability to meet life's demands head on. When you invest in yourself, it shows. A high-value man keeps himself in good shape because he understands the connection between physical health and mental clarity. Regular exercise isn't just about looking good, it's about feeling good, having the energy to pursue goals, and maintaining mental sharpness. Eating well fuels the body, while taking time to relax and recharge strengthens the mind. Grooming and personal hygiene are also part of this commitment to self-respect. When a man takes pride in his appearance and self-care, it reflects his inner confidence and self-esteem. It tells the world that he respects himself enough to invest time and effort in his well-being. But it's not just about looking good on the outside. It's also about cultivating a positive and healthy mindset. A high-value man regularly engages in activities that boost his mental health, such as reading, meditation, or learning new skills. He understands that his mind is just as important as his body. By taking care of both, he ensures that he's not only physically strong, but also emotionally and mentally resilient. In essence, self-care is about honoring oneself, creating the foundation necessary for growth, success, and meaningful relationships. Order in Class A, high-value man, lives with order in class. Success isn't just about the big goals. It's about the small, consistent actions you take every single day. It's about living a life of discipline, being organized, and handling your responsibilities with precision. Whether it's keeping your space clean or meeting your deadlines, your commitment to order reveals your character. A man of class is always thinking ahead, always prepared, and always acting with purpose. A high-value man understands that success isn't something that happens by chance. It's the result of consistent effort, planning, and discipline. Living with order and class is the cornerstone of creating a life of value. A high-value man structures his life with purpose, knowing that every detail, no matter how small, plays a role in his overall success. He isn't haphazard in his approach to life. Instead, he builds routines and systems that allow him to stay on track, meet his goals, and maintain balance in every area. Whether it's keeping his home organized or adhering to a strict work schedule, he knows that order leads to clarity, productivity, and peace of mind. The high-value man doesn't procrastinate. He handles his responsibilities in a timely and efficient manner. He stays on top of his commitments, whether personal or professional, and he takes pride in being reliable and dependable. He keeps track of his finances, his health, his relationships, and his goals because he knows that managing these areas with care leads to long-term success. His ability to plan, organize, and follow through on commitments sets him apart from those who are constantly scrambling or overwhelmed by life's demands. Living with class is not about showing off wealth or status. It's about how you carry yourself, how you interact with others, and how you approach challenges. A high-value man moves through life with dignity and respect for both himself and others. He is graceful in his actions, thoughtful in his words, and intentional in his decisions. Class is reflected in how you treat others, whether it's the way you speak to a waiter, the way you handle a tough situation, or the way you lead by example. A man of class doesn't need to seek validation or attention. His presence is felt through the integrity and poise he embodies. Living with order and class creates a foundation of respect, both from others and from within, that fosters success in all aspects of life. Well-mannered, but it's not just about what you do, it's about how you do it. A high-value man is well-mannered. He treats others with kindness, respect, and consideration. He listens more than he speaks. He helps without expecting anything in return. Whether you're in a meeting or at a dinner table, how you treat others will determine how they treat you. The man who practices excellent manners will always find doors opening for him. A high-value man understands that how he treats others is a reflection of his character. Being well-mannered is not about following social conventions out of obligation, but about genuinely valuing the people around him. It's about understanding the impact of his words and actions on others and choosing to be respectful, kind, and considerate in every interaction. A man who is well-mannered has an innate sense of empathy and understands that small acts of courtesy, like holding the door open for someone or saying please and thank you, go a long way in creating positive connections. These gestures may seem simple, but they carry a deep sense of respect and appreciation for others. When a man has strong manners, he moves through the world with ease, knowing how to navigate social and professional situations with grace. Whether in a business meeting, a social gathering, or a casual encounter, he has the emotional intelligence to adjust his behavior according to the context. He knows when to listen, when to speak, and when to offer support or advice. His ability to read a room and adapt to shifting dynamics makes him an excellent communicator and a desirable presence in any environment. A high-value man's manners also reflect his self-discipline. He doesn't allow impatience, frustration, or ego to dictate his actions. Instead, he remains composed even when faced with challenging situations. His ability to remain polite, even when others are rude or disrespectful, shows strength of character and emotional maturity. He knows that maintaining his composure is far more powerful than responding to negativity with anger or defensiveness. People are drawn to his calm and measured demeanor, and they instinctively trust him to handle difficult situations with dignity. In essence, being well-mannered is about treating others the way you want to be treated and showing respect in both big and small ways. It's about creating an atmosphere of trust and respect where people feel valued and understood. A high-value man doesn't have to boast about his worth. His actions speak for themselves. His kindness and consideration make him stand out in any crowd, earning the admiration and respect of those around him. Lifelong learning now. Here's the truth. If you're not learning, you're falling behind. A high-value man never stops growing, never stops evolving. He seeks knowledge, he seeks wisdom, and he's not afraid to ask questions. Whether through books, mentors, or life experience, he understands that learning is a lifelong journey. That learning doesn't just happen in a classroom, it happens every single day. A high-value man is not content with stagnation. He is always striving to learn and grow. The mindset of a lifelong learner sets him apart from others. He knows that the pursuit of knowledge is a continuous journey. Whether through reading books, engaging in meaningful conversations, attending seminars, or seeking out new experiences, he actively seeks opportunities to expand his horizons. This intellectual curiosity drives him to explore new fields of interest, sharpen his skills, and refine his understanding of the world. Being a lifelong learner is not just about accumulating knowledge. A high-value man recognizes that the more he learns, the more he realizes how much he still doesn't know. This humility allows him to approach life with a sense of openness, always ready to absorb new information and perspectives. He's not afraid to admit when he doesn't know something or when he is wrong. Instead, he embraces these moments as opportunities to grow. Learning from mistakes and seeking wisdom from others who are more experienced, the high-value man doesn't limit himself to just intellectual pursuits. He also invests in his emotional and personal development. He reads not only to learn facts, but also to understand human nature, relationships, and the deeper aspects of life. He seeks out mentors and role models, understanding that wisdom is often gained from those who have walked the path before him. He surrounds himself with people who challenge him, inspire him, and help him to become the best version of himself. This constant pursuit of growth doesn't just benefit him personally, it also benefits everyone around him. A lifelong learner brings fresh ideas and perspectives to the table, creating an environment where innovation and growth can flourish. His passion for learning motivates those in his circle to do the same, fostering an atmosphere of For the high-value man, learning is not a phase. It is a lifelong commitment that shapes who he is and fuels his journey toward greater success, fulfillment, and impact. Planning and execution. The next trait is planning and execution. A high-value man has a vision, but more importantly, he has a plan to turn that vision into reality. Planning is nothing without action. A high-value man takes what's in his mind and makes it happen. He knows the time is precious and he uses it wisely. Every task is done with purpose and every goal is met with action. A high-value man doesn't leave his future to chance. He understands the importance of planning, not just for the big moments, but for every aspect of his life. His approach to life is intentional. He sets clear goals and breaks them down into actionable steps. ensuring that each day is a step toward his ultimate vision. A high-value man doesn't wake up hoping for success to find him. He creates his own success by being deliberate with his time, energy, and resources. He structures his days in a way that balances work, personal growth, and meaningful relationships. Every action he takes is aligned with the life he wants to build, and he ensures that his efforts are consistent and purposeful. Making plans and following through is not just about efficiency. It's about being accountable to himself. A high-value man values his time, recognizing that it is his most precious resource. He doesn't waste time on distractions or empty activities that don't move him closer to his goals. Instead, he prioritizes what matters, ensuring that each day is filled with meaningful tasks that contribute to his personal and professional growth. Whether it's working toward career advancement, learning new skills, or nurturing relationships, he is focused and unwavering in his commitment to his plans. The act of planning also reflects a deeper sense of responsibility. A high-value man doesn't wait for others to tell him what to do. He takes ownership of his actions and the outcomes they produce. When he makes a commitment, he follows through, demonstrating reliability and integrity. This is evident not only in his professional life, but in his personal relationships as well. If he promises to show up for someone, he does. If he plans a date or an outing, he ensures that all the details are taken care of, from reservations to logistics, making sure everything goes smoothly. This reliability builds trust and respect, making him someone people can depend on. Following through on plans shows that a man values discipline and has a strong sense of purpose. It's not just about achieving goals. It's about building the reputation of someone who is trustworthy, consistent, and committed to his word. A high-value man doesn't just talk about what he wants to achieve. He takes the necessary steps and holds himself accountable. This is a key characteristic of high-value men, their ability to make plans and, most importantly, to follow through on them. Commitment. Commitment. It's a word we often hear, but how many of us truly understand what it means? A high-value man is committed. He commits to his personal growth, his career, his relationships, and his goals. And when he commits, he sticks with it. He doesn't jump from one thing to another, constantly seeking novelty. He knows that success takes time and persistence, and he's willing to pay that price. A high-value man understands the deep importance of commitment in all aspects of his life, whether it's his personal goals, his career, or his relationships. Commitment is the foundation of his success. A man who is committed doesn't waver when times get tough or when things don't go according to plan. He's the kind of person who understands that true growth and fulfillment come from sticking to something for the long haul. Commitment is a reflection of his character, and it shows in how he handles both opportunities and challenges. He doesn't jump from one thing to another when faced with difficulty or boredom. Instead, he puts in the work, knowing that anything worth achieving takes time, effort, and perseverance. In relationships, commitment means more than just being physically present. It's about being emotionally and mentally invested. A high-value man values stability, understanding that lasting relationships are built on trust, loyalty, and consistency. He isn't interested in fleeting connections or short-term satisfaction. He seeks depth, connection, and a partner who shares his values and vision for the future. His commitment to a relationship is unwavering because he recognizes that true intimacy and partnership require vulnerability, communication, and the willingness to navigate challenges together. Commitment also extends to his own growth. A high-value man is not afraid of hard work because he knows that continuous self-improvement is essential to his success. He's committed to becoming better each day, whether that means working on his fitness, developing his skills, or expanding his knowledge. He understands that personal development is a lifelong journey, and he makes it a priority in his life. Commitment to self-growth ensures that he becomes a better version of himself, both for his own benefit and for those around him. In all aspects of life, a high-value man is unwavering in his dedication to his goals, relationships, and personal growth. His ability to commit, stay focused, and work through obstacles makes him someone people admire and respect. Through his commitment, he builds a life of substance, achievement, and meaningful connection. Passion outside relationships. A high-value man is not dependent on anyone or anything. He has passions outside of relationships. Whether it's a hobby, a business, or a project, he dedicates time to his own interests. This not only makes his life more interesting, but it also makes him a more attractive person. When you have a purpose outside of the people you're with, you become more complete, more fulfilled, and more appealing to those around you. A high-value man is not defined by his relationship, but by the passions, interests, and ambitions he pursues outside of it. He understands that a fulfilling life is one that is multifaceted, where relationships complement his other pursuits rather than define his entire existence. He knows that maintaining his own interests and passions keeps him vibrant, energized, and fulfilled. Whether it's a hobby, a creative pursuit, a business venture, or a personal goal, the high-value man dedicates time and energy to what excites him and makes him feel alive. These passions not only enrich his own life, but they also make him more interesting and attractive to others as they demonstrate his independence, drive, and depth. The high-value man is not clingy or overly reliant on his partner for validation or fulfillment. He is comfortable in his own skin and knows that his worth is not tied to the success or failure of any one relationship. Instead, he seeks a partner who appreciates him for who he is, not someone who needs him to be their sole source of happiness. His ability to maintain a healthy balance between his personal interests and a relationship shows emotional maturity and self-assurance. He understands that by investing in himself, he becomes a more complete and fulfilled person, which in turn allows him to offer more to a relationship. Having interests outside of a relationship also ensures that the high-value man continues to grow and evolve. He doesn't lose sight of his own ambitions when he enters a relationship. Rather, he continues to work toward his goals while supporting his partner's journey as well. This creates a healthy dynamic where both individuals are encouraged to pursue their own passions and dreams while also nurturing their connection. A high-value man's ability to thrive in both his personal pursuits and his relationship makes him a more well-rounded, confident, and appealing partner. His passions keep him grounded, fulfilled, and always moving forward, creating a life full of purpose and excitement. Accountability is one of the greatest traits you can develop. A high-value man takes responsibility for his actions. He doesn't blame others. He doesn't make excuses. When things go wrong, he looks in the mirror and says, "What could I have done better?" He owns his mistakes, learns from them, and moves forward stronger. A high-value man takes responsibility for his actions and their consequences. In relationships, this trait becomes even more important as conflict and misunderstandings are inevitable. A man who is willing to own up to his mistakes rather than deflect blame or make excuses shows maturity and integrity. He understands that personal growth and the health of his relationships depend on his ability to be honest with himself and others. When things go wrong, he doesn't point fingers or cast blame on his partner or external circumstances. Instead, he looks inward, asking himself how he could have done better and what he can learn from the experience. This self-reflection allows him to make amends, grow as a person, and foster deeper connections with those around him. A high-value man understands that taking responsibility is not a sign of weakness, but a sign of strength. It takes courage to admit when you're wrong and to take proactive steps to make things right. It requires emotional maturity to put aside pride and ego for the sake of growth and improvement. When he makes a mistake, he doesn't shy away from the discomfort of facing it head on. He owns his actions and, when necessary, apologizes, understanding that this is not just about fixing the immediate issue, but also about building trust and respect over time. This approach extends beyond relationships and into all aspects of his life. Whether in his career, personal projects, or daily decisions, a high-value man takes responsibility for his choices. He doesn't make excuses for setbacks or failures, but instead takes accountability, learns from them, and adjusts his approach moving forward. This mindset ensures continuous growth and keeps him on the path toward success. By taking responsibility for his faults, a high-value man demonstrates his commitment to both personal development and the well-being of his relationships. It shows that he values integrity, self-awareness, and the long-term health of the connections he holds dear. Understanding rejection finally. A high-value man understands that rejection doesn't define him. He knows that attraction is subjective and that just because one door closes doesn't mean the world has ended. He treats rejection with grace and dignity, and when he moves on, he does so with his head held high. He knows his worth and never allows someone else's opinion to diminish it. A high-value man understands that attraction, especially in relationships, is a complex and subjective matter. He recognizes that a woman has the power to choose who she wants to be with, and this understanding shapes how he approaches both rejection and acceptance. When faced with rejection, a high-value man handles it with grace and dignity. He doesn't take it personally or let it affect his self-worth. He knows that attraction isn't always about him. It's a deeply personal and individual experience for each person. If a woman doesn't choose him, he respects her decision and doesn't harbor negative feelings. He understands that being rejected is not a reflection of his value, but simply a result of compatibility or differing desires. Rather than being discouraged by rejection, a high-value man moves forward with confidence. He knows that his worth isn't dependent on someone else's perception of him. And he maintains his self-respect and sense of purpose. His emotional maturity allows him to handle life's ups and downs with poise, keeping his ego intact. He doesn't dwell on what went wrong or seek validation from others to heal his bruised pride. Instead, he takes rejection in stride, learning from the experience without letting it define him. Moreover, a high-value man applies the same understanding of choice to his relationships. He doesn't take anyone's attention or affection for granted because he knows that everyone has options. He recognizes that just as he has the right to choose the people he invests his time and energy into, others do as well. This awareness fosters a deep respect for the autonomy of others and strengthens the foundation of any relationship he builds. By understanding that a woman of value can choose, he maintains a balanced perspective on relationships, always valuing genuine connection over external validation. This mindset allows him to move through life with confidence, never clinging to anyone out of need, but rather embracing relationships that are mutual, respectful, and fulfilling. So, there you have it. The 11 traits of a high-value man. And let me remind you, these traits are not just for a select few. They are for anyone who is willing to put in the work, who is committed to improving themselves every single day. Now, this is not about being perfect. It's about being better than you were yesterday. If you're ready to step up and live with purpose, to lead and learn, to care for yourself and others, then you are ready to become a high-value man. The choice is yours. What will you decide today?